escape this feeling. It's my chance.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for the Fastest 7. 3 stories with gravity. 7 American minutes that hustle. 1 former Wolf for a host. First up, Academy Award acceptance. Speeches can go in many directions. Here's a montage of some memorable moments. Jared was long-winded. Lupita was emotional, and Matthew was spot on.
In 1971, Bossier City, Louisiana, there was a teenage girl who was pregnant with her second child. She was a high school dropout and a single mom, but somehow she managed to make a better life for herself and her children. That girl is my mother, and she's here tonight.
When I look down at this golden statue, may it remind me and every little child that no matter where you're from, your dreams are valid.
First off, I want to thank God, because that's who I look up to. He's graced my life with opportunities that I know are not of my hand or any other human hand.
Yeah. Daniel, let me go to you. You said, wow, there. Surprising Matthew McConaughey right out of the box. Not the last thought. Right out of the box, you thank God.
Well, what I wrote down here is, when did it become news and surprising for people to thank God? Yeah. And it really does. It seems like it's so brave and it's so courageous. I guess that it is in front of a crowd like that. And that's the movie that I want to see. That's on my list of the ones.
Great movie, great flick.
But I gave it to you. Great. I know. I haven't had time. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna watch it.
So I just say that you're assuming when he said God, he meant God. He was talking about Harvey Weinstein. But you know what? The best line of the Oscars was Ellen saying there were 2 possibilities at the end of the night. Possibility 1, 12 years a slave wins. Possibility 2, you're all racists. Yeah. That was like a brave and very funny, and it summed up the whole Oscars.
Didn't you say that sometime? Because I know people steal your material.
It was a good joke.
KG, talk to me a little about, do you like Lupita? She was so happy. She was so bubbly with personality.
So sweet, so genuine to see. Like, she hasn't been compromised or tainted by any of the Hollywood, vices. She was just like purity, right? And just someone who was so happy to be there. I loved her. I love McConaughey's speech. He still looks a little thin. He needs some Perino pot roast. But yeah, other than that, I thought it was good. And Ellen did a good job.
She did a nice job. How about Jared Leto, huh?
The lead guy, you mean?
Yeah, the first guy, long hair.
I thought he was, I've never heard of the guy before. I saw the movie, and I said, that really can't be the same person who played that woman. It was not only a remarkable acting job, I thought what he said there about raising the issue about his mother, but more importantly, what everybody associated with that movie did was to educate people once again about the scourge of AIDS that was very prevalent in the 80s and 90s, and people have lost track of it, a lot of young people. And I'm glad to see it come back. And I also think Ellen DeGeneres was, this is the first Oscar I've ever watched, honestly. And I thought she was funny, good, moved it along, and I think you're exactly right. That took a lot of nerve. And last point I'll make is, to say God is first thing in front of that crowd, courage.
Took guts, right? All right, up next, check out this star-powered selfie. Ellen got the first few rows of stars to pose for an impromptu selfie. It lit up the internet, crashed Twitter, and broke the record for most retweets in history. Almost 3 million so far. Do you think that was impromptu?
I think it was planned, but you know what drives me nuts about this? The worst gag of the show was Jimmy Kimmel did that skit where he enters a person's house to admonish them for doing mean tweets. So they portrayed the viewer as fat, stupid slobs, and then they go and they tweet this and they get all this retweeting. It's like social media is driving your ratings right now, and you just insulted your whole audience. You called them a bunch of losers. I would have turned off the TV, except I had to talk about it today. Right. But I'm like, they just called all of us fat pigs.
I know, but you know the ones. You know
this thing.
The mean ones we get.
Yeah.
You know them all.
Yeah. But all the media, it's the media who does the mean tweeting. And Kimmel's a mean comic. He did The Man Show. The Man Show was Twitter before there was Twitter.
Yeah, that was funny.
I think Jimmy Kimmel is just so funny.
I'm going to say one thing. My daughter made me watch that red carpet thing coming in. This is the most inane, ridiculous, self-absorbed. Everything about American culture is caught up in that red, including the people who do the interviews and the very sweet people up at the booths to do all the interviewing.
Can I make a comment about social media? Because I do think that the Oscars, maybe it works for them to have a 5-hour-long show. I didn't watch it, except for on Twitter. I watched Maureen Walsh, she does makeup at Fox. She always has great tweets about fashion and makeup during the show. Your tweets were very funny, and I was following, I was retweeting. I was kind of like watching it that way while I watched the programs that I wanted to watch on Netflix.
Little House
you
on
would
the
watch
Prairie.
it if it started at 6 in the morning, Dana. You would watch it.
I want to get this in. By the way, that retweet, almost 3 million retweets. The prior record was President Obama's about 775,000 or so. So they've really. By the way, a lot of people are yelling at us for doing Oscar stuff, but a lot of other people like to hear about it and like to talk about it. All right, leave it to HuffPo to screw up a really good time. Check out their editorial director, Howard Feynman's tweet comparing an awards show to a bloody conflict playing out in Russia. Hey, HuffPo, it's Hollywood. You know, illusion, fantasy, storytelling, not bloody foreign policy. Bob, you can kick back a little bit and watch a little Hollywood, can't you?
Yeah, I know Howard quite well, and I'm frankly not all that surprised. I mean, I think he gets somewhat enamored by that crowd, and there's too much of a incestuousness between New York and Washington, and they think that they're the only two people that can discuss anything important.
Because they think
when in fact
awesome.
most of them are so vacuous they can't discuss anything.
But they think that nobody is as good or funny or talented or smart or like evolved as they are. And can I just say something?
And who cares about what they wear? God, I can't.
Can I go back to number 2 for a second? I wore the little stretch pants and a little kind of pajama-y outfit, and I ate the leftover 5 popcorn to watch the Oscars. So I am like the Jimmy Kimmel thing.
I didn't know that Howard Feynman is the editorial director of Huffington Post. That's like being the editorial director of Feces.
Ew.
Oh, that's tough.
But no, I just want to make a point. He's a media expert. How can you be so clueless about your own media?
Can I just...
This
is terrible. I didn't read the tweet yet. Very quickly. Academy Awards show diversity, tolerance, cultural creativity of the U.S. in Obama era. Hard power matters per Putin, but Oscars are as powerful. Quick thought, Dana?
The Oscars are so powerful.
I think
I
was
was on
just
my
very
knees.
euphoric.
I think that his wife, he married the right woman. His wife apparently told him, he tweets this afterwards, before I tweeted that earlier thing out, my wife said it was the most vapid observation ever. I guess she was right. He married Miss Right.
I think that's fake.
That's Bob's phone.
I think he made that up.
All right, we got to go.
You think he made that up too?
The trial for
Bob's climate
Olympic
change.
Blade Runner.